no, you're either write it now or during recess. And of course the kids would want to look and escape from things happening in my personal life. Entirely just appreciate them as kids. It is a crazy rainy day today. Honestly, not in the mood to teach. Because we had a test, a lot of them finished earlier. I just had them do AR testing while I was working on writing conferences because I need to get these Apple writings done. I'm going to start bats soon. The end of the day is going to be really fun. We have pumpkin pie and pumpkin cookies, and then a parent also brought pumpkin ice cream. This will be the last day of our pumpkin unit. We worked on these little pumpkin life cycles. It starts as a seed, then sprout, and then they can put it back in and pull it out to see the order. We also started our diagram about pumpkins. Gave them the string and they basically painted it on with glue. I'm not really teaching, but I can tell that their attention is not the best right now, so I honestly don't even want to deal with it. Also, I haven't been really preparing myself to teach math. Anytime that we have a math lesson, I'm kind of making it up on the spot. Well, okay, I'll watch a video on how to introduce new concepts to them, but today I didn't, and it's based 10 frames. We finished our pumpkin diagram. I gave them that little pipe cleaner to make this with their pencils. We made a leaf and then labeled all the parts that we put together. Then we had all the pumpkin treats. I am exhausted. I ran a 5K this weekend. My body's just been aching like crazy. I'm going to put together their Halloween gift. What they'll get in their goodie bag is this little sticker. This ended up being too big for this, but then I'm bending it so that it fits. Spiderweb sticky, a fake tattoo. Hopefully none of them will get in trouble. When I was younger, my dad was completely against tattoos on us. My sister had this fake tattoo and got in so much trouble. Then they'll get 3 pieces of candy. I just had my first observation for this year and it went so well. I had very minor defiance from a few of my students. My observation was like 10 minutes after they came in. I moved my writing block up since that's what I wanted the principal to see. I had a student playing with the crayons, but then I told him to put it away and he did after I started walking towards him. And then another student was like, oh, I don't want to write. And I said, no, you're either write it now or during recess. So then she decided to write. After that, she did amazing. Yesterday we learned about bats and I put it into this big tree map. Usually I don't model like if I'm actually teaching, but since this was a formal observation, I did model that last section of what bats do. I went over all the topic sentences with them. They got to choose one. We then looked at the big idea for this, turned it into a sentence. Some of them are still saying like bats look black, but then I need it to be this big idea to cover all those red dots. I said bats look blank. One of them came up with bats look like birds, so that's what we all wrote. I gave them a chance to write all those red ideas on their own. Another big writing project that we had was apples, so I reminded them, don't just tell me things, don't just tell me spread wings. It has to be a whole sentence. During my observation too, I accidentally stepped on the wire and disconnected the projector, and it takes so long to unplug and replug it because I have to twist these metal things to undo it and then redo it. Luckily, I have an aide. So during that time when I was walking around, it was the time when they were writing their topic sentences too. They still had time to write. So during that time, my aide was like trying to quickly do it. And thank goodness for him because he even printed this for me to accommodate for the students who are on IEPs. And he came just in time. It's so nice having an aide. Before the school year, I was terrified to have another person in here because of the judgment they might have of me. But he's been so helpful. And even yesterday, like I was so tired. This whole week I've been tired. This week feels like 2 weeks combined. He even offered help to stay after school anytime that I need it. So I told him, probably during open house time especially, it's good to know that if I do need help after school, then he's willing to be there. Like, and it's his own time too. The principal even got me coffee because he kept transferring students to my class. And then I told him only coffee will get me through this week. I finally got my TV. Now I can get rid of the projector that has been disconnecting so much. Literally disconnected during my observation. Today, we honestly spent the whole day writing about bats. We turned this whole tree map into a giant paragraph. At the end of the day for art, they turned themselves into mummies. I had parents cut this little figure out, but during lunchtime, I told them to make a scary face while I took their picture. They pasted it in the front and then wrapped themselves. I'm gonna do the same idea for Christmas, but turn them into gingerbread men. My kids were responding so perfectly today. It felt so good because another teacher and the janitor came in and took down the old TV, so there was a lot of noise, and of course the kids would want to look, but I told them to stay focused, and they did. Like, they did such a good job. Towards the end of the day, I was at the back table fixing their mummies, and I told them to work on the bats writing if they finished their mummies, and they did just that. They're learning to be on their own so much earlier than I thought they would. Last week there was an awards assembly, and one of the moms gave me these beautiful flowers. Like, they are so gorgeous. It was one gigantic bouquet, so I had to split it. The petals started spreading out, and it's so nice that I'm gonna put it in another vase right here. One of my kids from last year always tries to greet me in the mornings. She gave me this little gift that was wrapped in this. And then it's like this little Labubu hair clip, hair tie, and then 2 food erasers. I was telling her how I used to collect these when I was in elementary school. It's so cute how your students will just think of you for everything. The same student even gave me this. Another one of my students, who is her best friend, gave me this with a bunch of things from Stitch. Like that. I feel kind of behind because I've been leaving earlier, a lot earlier than usual. Last year I used to stay until 9. This year I started staying until 7, but this week I've been leaving around like 4. I don't know, honestly, like when I get here, as much as I love the job, I do want to go home. Teaching could be an escape from things happening in my personal life. The past 2 weeks, I've been really prioritizing things outside of work. A little recap of what's been happening. My aide was out on Monday, so I had a sub, and she was so impressed with the way that I taught and managed my classroom. All it is being strict and consistent. Our sped teacher also got support aides, so she's been sending another aide into my classroom at the end of the day. And my hardest kid right now, who refuses to do work because she doesn't want to, is so attached to him. Now I'm using that to my advantage and being like, how about you sit next to her, redirect her when she needs to, because she honestly is more willing to listen to him than me. First grade wanted to be cowgirls, and I had to get this horse. It was such a good day. I thought the kids would go crazy, but we'd spent a whole hour on writing, and they did amazing. Like, the best they've done during a writing block. We had a Halloween parade. One of my kids' outfits was Miss Trenchbull from Matilda, and her whole family dressed as all the characters. It was the funniest thing ever. Like, when I first saw her, I thought she was some like fighting character from a game. Her eyebrows were glued down to look crazy. She had a big mole, the shirt, the belt, and even like this little weapon with the 2 balls. Anytime I looked at her, I just kept laughing. Honestly, very easy day. I did some writing conferences while they worked on AR testing. I got 4 students done within like 45 minutes, which is really good, especially because I just did not want to conference anymore. The Apple writing took forever. This one I'm going a little faster. Some of their drafts were actually really good. I encourage them to write sentences that are long and strong. It's just during tests, man. During tests, when they had to do it independently, all on their own, that's when they're struggling to be creative with the writing. We did these cauldrons that I did last year. Let's see if I even have one. Some of them left theirs behind. Here it is. Then I played a video about Halloween. It's so cute looking at all the pictures. Like, October was such a fun month. It felt very, very, very long. Every month I post pictures for the parents. I spent like an hour uploading the pictures. We worked on the base 10 monsters. We had clay monsters, a bunch of kickball and jump rope lessons. Our whole pumpkin unit was the best. We even saw a cow on campus because there was a mobile dairy assembly. My students are doing so well. I would say they are like a little chatty at sometimes. Some students, they slip up a lot in terms of shouting out, and then 2 of my students just cannot sit in their seat. This year feels so different because I actually feel like I'm connected to them way earlier on. I think last year it took me until February to entirely just appreciate them as kids because I was so focused on teaching. This year it's like, okay, I can breathe, I can enjoy the moment, we can have our laughs, but I'm still going to be strict when I have to be. I don't know why I'm still wearing this. It's just so different this year. I also always have parent volunteers helping me. These fluency builders were redone. They took these out so that I can put new names. Copies I don't really need to worry about anymore. I just need to prepare them early so that parents can copy them for me. Yeah, it's so nice because I do save a lot of time, but I still do spend a lot of time in here. That was my October.